And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show. We greatly appreciate all those that support the program. We've had an uptick in calls lately. People are calling, texting, and emailing. We greatly appreciate that. We got a great lineup for you here today. We're going to have Logan Briggs. He's our contractor for all things roofing coming up on the program. We're going to discuss Yellowstone, the hit movie, with him, as well as his business. We have Mark Haye, a financial expert, FTX, the Miami Heat naming rights, and also Roth 401ks and life insurance retirement plans with our financial advising expert, Mark Haye. And coming up as well, Jason Coble, attorney Jason Coble, Coble Law. We're going to talk with him about his business here in Tampa Bay, personal injury law, workers' comp, and also the Trump special prosecutor was named as well. So some interesting stuff coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show, all about helping you win in any marketplace. Save our hotline number. At some point you may need it. Feel free to call or text this line. It's an 813 number, 917-1894. Just call or text the hotline at 813-917-1894. And it really is a great joy to get those calls from all of our listeners out there. I hear fellow realtors sometimes say, hey, I love your show. I listen to your show all the time. So we greatly appreciate that. And support the show partners at consumerqb.com, online at consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors, and we have all of the best folks, business owners, CPAs, financial advising experts, attorneys, all types of great home services, consumerqb.com, and you can email as well, brimes@kw.com. So as you know, my wife Lindsay and I own a top real estate team here in Tampa Bay. We always like to feature our real estate listings live on air to help our sellers profit more and sell faster. We got a hot listing here at 5147 Marine Parkway. This is a great opportunity for investors, buyers of all sorts at 5147 Marine Parkway, Newport Richey. You got 2,600 square foot building. You have great location, about 40 to 50,000 vehicles a day passing by, right off of US 19. So it's a great opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay, one of the hottest real estate markets in the entire country. 12 parking spots. Is currently separated, two separate units, but it can also be converted back into 4 units as well. 5147 Marine Parkway, Newport Richey, right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Great location, close proximity to a lot of other complementary businesses. Commercial listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Also, we have a property here at 2817 Gulf City Road. This is a land development opportunity, $1.8 million listing of mine. Beautiful property here, and you have direct access to the Bay, the Gulf of Mexico, from 2817 Gulf City Road in Ruskin, Hillsborough County. It's 23 acres MOL. You also have motivated seller here. Great ROI opportunity. It can be subdivided, and you have deep water access direct to the Gulf of Mexico, and you are right on the Little Manatee River. Great opportunity, and you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
And yeah, I'm racing my class to those saving our ass overseas.
All right, let's jump right into it. Mark Haye, welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Ed. Thanks for having me. Happy Thanksgiving.
Likewise.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Well, good seeing you again. I love what you do for our audience here, and we had some folks calling in this last week, and people are always interested to hear what you have to say. Let's jump right into it. You're talking about the Roth IRAs, the 401ks.
Yep. Remember last time we kind of talked about they're changing or upping, I should say, contribution limits and income limits.
Yep.
Because inflation. And so we want to kind of talk about the conversion, Roth conversions. We talked about that a lot in this show. And so we do Roth conversions. We also do Roth conversions into life insurance retirement plans. I don't think one thing is the best. And I tell clients all the time, I think it's good to have multiple streams of income from different vehicles,
right,
whether it's real estate, a Roth 401k, a life insurance retirement plan, an IRA, whatever that is. Pension.
Not FTX, though.
Not FTX. I would stay away from FTX. I've never been a big fan of crypto, but I would stay away from that one.
There you go.
At this point.
Yeah.
So I was just going to compare the Roth IRA 401k to the life insurance retirement plan and just kind of quickly go through what that is and then and why we do both. not just into a Roth. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So the first thing we talk about is contribution limits, and into a Roth IRA, it is going to go up. So we talked about this year, if you're under 50, it's $6,000 a year. If you're over 50, it's $7,000. Now it goes up $500. So next year, you and I contribute $6,500 into an IRA. Anybody over 50 can do $7,500. Okay, per year. Now, that does not pertain to a life insurance retirement plan. So you can put $75,000 in a year or $750,000. It doesn't matter. There's no limit to what you can put into those contracts. So I have some people that put in $50 a month. I have some people that put in $250,000 a year. You know, it's just a matter of everywhere in between of income threshold and cash, etc.
Okay.
So the first thing we look at is contribution limits, and there is none on the life insurance retirement plan. So we always like to say, okay, we would give that one to the life insurance retirement plan. You know, we want to be able to put as much as we can away for retirement.
Yeah.
You know, the next thing we look at is the income limitation. So right now, if you make $144,000 a year as a single person, or if you're married at $214,000 a year, you cannot even put into a Roth IRA. Okay, so you're phased out. So they have income limits, they have contribution limits, which doesn't make any sense to me because I think retirement planning is a huge problem this country is going to be facing that no one's talking about.
So $214 a year in income.
Married.
Can't
contribute.
So combination of 214. So what happens if the following year you don't, or the next, you start tapering off your income, something changes economically, and then now you're sitting there with no retirement plan? It makes no sense. Like
correct. I just don't understand why they would ever say that. Okay, you can only put in this much money, and if you make that much money, you can't even do it. You can do zero. Mm-hmm. You know, and then, like I said, retirement crisis is a big thing that we're going to be facing, and especially our generation to come. Right. Because there is no more pensions. Social Security is bankrupt. Medicare, Medicaid is bankrupt. Taxes are going to have to go up, and so unfortunately, people are not saving. As of right now, people are not saving just because of inflation and the cost of goods, and I don't blame them. I mean, they're trying to pay the bills and put the kids to school. And
savings are record lows right now, aren't
they? Record low. And credit card debt is through the roof right now, all-time high. So,
that's right.
So I get it, but that, to me, is a little weird now. But there is no income limit on the life insurance retirement plan. So if you make $1 million a year, $2 million, you can still put in $50,000 a year, or 100, or 10. It doesn't matter. So there's no income limits, no contribution limits when it comes to that. So we always say, okay, well, we'll give that check mark again to the life insurance retirement plan. All right. The next thing we look at is liquidity, and if you use a Roth IRA or a 401k or a traditional IRA, you can't touch that money to 59.5. All right. So you put that money in, and that money is not liquid to you to 59.5. Now you certainly could pull it out. You're just going to pay a 10% penalty to the government. In our scenario here, with talking about Roth, it is still tax-free, so you would just pay that 10% penalty. Where the life insurance retirement plan, there is no liquidity issue. You put money in, you can pull money out. Just like it would be like a bank account.
And the beauty of this all, Mark, by the way, we're talking with Mark Haye, a financial advising expert on the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's our local consultant. You can talk to him as well. We're talking about the power of compounding, right? Mm-hmm. So once you're pulling out money out of your paycheck month after month, or you can even do it quarterly, there's different plans. But can you talk about how that works? I mean, the compounding is what's really the secret sauce here, right?
Correct. And then Einstein said that's like the eighth wonder of the world is compounding interest.
Right.
Because if you lined up $100 and they made the same amount taxable and tax deferred, and let's just say an average of 5%, the taxable is going to lose big because every year you're paying that, and you're not compounding that interest. Now, both the Roth and the life insurance retirement plans both are compounding interest.
Yeah.
So you would have a tie there. Okay, that works the same way. That both, which leads to the next thing I was going to talk about, which is protection. And one thing that we're trying to protect retirement plans from is taxes. If you can eliminate taxes from a retirement plan, you're eliminating 25, 30%, if not more, from your portfolio.
Right.
So the Roth IRA works the same as the life insurance retirement plan, where it grows tax-free, comes out tax-free. You can live on it tax-free. It does not count as provisional income, so you get your Social Security tax-free. So we love both vehicles for that.
Love it.
And so they're the only two ways to actually get tax-free income in retirement is Roth or life insurance retirement plans. Okay. Now, you do have tax-free muni bonds, but the tax-free muni bonds, they can come out to you tax-free, but it counts as provisional income. Okay. And people don't understand that. Well, all that means is it goes towards your Social Security taxes. So if you pulled out $50,000 or $100,000 a year from your tax-free bonds,
right,
you got that tax-free, but now it counts, and your Social Security is going to be taxed.
Okay.
Whereas a Roth IRA or the life insurance retirement plan, you pull the money out, it does not count as provisional income. You still get your Social Security tax-free. So muni bonds have a place, but don't to confuse that. It's not completely tax-free because you're going to pay tax on your Social Security.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to get you on that one. So be careful. But so that one thing that both do is protect you from taxes. All right. The other thing that we look at is a sudden death. For a breadwinner, a father or a mother that's making the money, putting the food on the table. Something happened to that person.
Right.
What happens now to the kids and that family and the mortgage and the school? What happens? Okay. So I tell people all the time, let's just use the example of you put $7,500 into this Roth IRA, and it doesn't matter what it did. It went up 10%, Tom. It doesn't matter. Okay. You passed away. That $7,500 goes to your kid or your spouse or whatever.
Right.
Okay. But if you put that same $7,500 into a life insurance retirement plan and you die that same day or next day, $500,000 tax-free goes to your family, spouse, kids,
Wow.
etc. So when you look at protection, we're protecting from the taxes, but you can't get around the leverage of that death benefit to fulfill you. I'm not here anymore.
Right.
It's hard to replace a dad, a father, a son, but at least financially, the kids don't have to go to different schools and sell the house. And you get my point.
Right.
It's hard enough to lose a parent,
right?
Let alone lose your friends, your school, and everything else on top of it.
In the ranch, a lot of times, doesn't that affect farmers too?
Oh man, it affects everything.
The death tax and those things.
Yep. And then the third thing we look at with protection is long-term care. Now, long-term care has become hot in the last decade, because people are living longer and they're finding out that holy moly, this costs a lot of money.
ALFs and
you
such.
got it. Costs a lot of money. Well, now they structure these life insurance retirement plans where you can use that death benefit while you're alive. So let's say that same $500,000 death benefit, and you peacefully are in your retirement and you need care, I need assisted living or nursing home care, etc. You can tap into that $500,000 and spend it for care. Whereas the Roth, you're going to spend that cash that you save for retirement, where you're going to spend that down, and sometimes it could be $250,000 a year for care, depending on Alzheimer's and everything else. Where you're at. Well, if you spend that down and you pass, you're going to leave your wife with what? She loses the Social Security because you don't take two.
Right.
She gets the highest one. And then she would lose the portfolio because you spend it all on her care, on your care, because she's not going to not spend that on your care.
Right.
And you pass, well, now there's nothing there. Where if you did the life insurance retirement plan, well, you have $500,000 that we could use on top of the portfolio, which we haven't touched yet.
Right.
You with me?
Yep.
So we look at it as protection. Taxes, if it's a death too soon or long-term care, which one's going to do what? You know what I mean? So that's why we diversify. When we do a Roth conversion, we don't just throw it in Roth. Like, here's do a Roth, let's have life insurance time. Let's take advantage of both those buckets because they're both going to do different things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the last thing that we look at is expenses. And a lot of people don't understand it. But expenses are anything that do with mutual funds or just having the account set up. So, for example, in a Roth 401k, okay, and I printed this from the perspective of Fidelity and Principal. And if you look at because they're huge 401k providers, I mean massive. All right? And so we're still talking about the Roth, but Roth 401k, and you're contributing to that. It says in their perspective the total investment is for Fidelity 1.97, and for Principal is 1.87. Okay, so that's the expense to be in that program.
What is that per
year?
Per year.
Yeah, so you don't see it; just comes out of the account. You just never see it. And then on top of it, which people don't understand, is you have what's called mutual funds inside of that. So mutual funds carry their own fee, whether it's 50 basis points, 1.15, or whatever that may be. And on the back page of that perspective, it lists the funds that you can be in, and it shows that expense, whether it's 24 basis points or 1.24. And it clearly says not part of the total investment expense. So all that means is you got to add that to the 1.97, the 1.87.
Wow.
And then your funds go on top of it. Now you're at 2.5% to be into that plan.
And sometimes that's compounded, right?
Oh yeah, every year, bang, bang. Doesn't matter if you made money or not; it's going to come out.
Man, that's a lot to.
It's a lot to take in. But let's say you did the Roth IRA and not the 401k. The Roth IRA is still going to have the fees of the mutual funds, and if the advisor is charging a management fee of 1%, so you're still sitting in the same 2%, 2.5% as a 401k. Mm-hmm. And so we look at that and we say, okay, the expenses are 1.5%. Let's just call it 1.5%. And then you look at the life insurance retirement plan. Yeah, your expenses are going to be up front. So everybody that puts in money in the first couple of years, you're probably going to be down 10, 20% because of the cost of the insurance. All right. After that, it just makes money forever. And the life of that policy is 1%. You're paying 1% for that contract. Let's say they're both the same, 1%, which you're not, but let's just say they're both the same. What are you getting for that 1%? You know what I mean? So the Roth is going to give you market volatility. It could be high. You could make 20, 30, 40% one year, but you could lose 30%. And people don't understand if you lose 30%, what do you got to make next year to make up to zero?
Right.
You got to make 60.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that.
Right.
Sometimes it takes years and years and years to even get back to where you started.
Yep.
Whereas a life insurance retirement plan is you never have that negative. So you always have your guarantee, whether it's 4%, 2%, 0, you don't ever have that negative. But you probably are not going to go out and make 50% when you're like a Roth would. But I've had clients that made 10, 15, 20% in a year inside their life insurance retirement plans, and it's tax-free, just like a Roth.
Yeah.
You're protecting yourself from any kind of loss. You die premature, family's taken care of, you need nursing home care. And so we do a lot of it where we convert Roth, convert into life insurance retirement plans, and for those reasons. Now, I would give the expenses a tie because, 1%, 1%, but look at what it's doing. If you could say, for 1%, instead of just throwing into the market, we're going to give you a guarantee of not losing your money. We're going to guarantee that if you die, something happens, your family's going to you're going to guarantee that long-term care is going to be taken care of, and you don't have to worry about that stuff.
And you can borrow against it too?
Yeah. So, for example,
that's what I like about them.
You got it. You can borrow against it. If you put money in, you can take the cost basis out, which is what you put in.
Yep.
There's no loan. You just take your money back.
Yeah.
If there's interest or dividends, you can take the dividends out. There's no loan on that. And if you want to just say, I want to loan money, you can. Now, what does that mean? I'm loaning it against myself.
Right.
And I'm going to pay myself back, or I'm not, and it just subtracts from the death benefit on your demise.
Right.
So it's a very, very advantageous vehicle to be in, and we tell people, it diversify this. Let's not just be all in the market. You got your IRA in the market, your Roth IRA in the market. I got my securities, and my brokerage in the market. I got real estate. Everything is up and down and cynical with markets.
Yep.
The only thing that we're putting in there is going to be this life insurance retirement plan, and it's not going to go down. So everything else is going down. This one is going up, and so now we have different options to pull money from in retirement.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
Mark Haye, financial expert here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. How do you want folks to reach you, Mark?
You can text me at 727-804-7220, or you can go online. Our website is xxifinancial.com.
xxifinancial.com.
You got it.
And that's Mark Haye, always bringing in some great stuff, man.
I appreciate it.
It's complicated stuff, folks. So and also get a review. I think you should reach out to Mark and just get a review and let him take a look at what you currently have, maybe what you're considering. And, it could be somebody you've done business with for years, maybe a great person, but it never hurts to get a second set of eyes on things. 813-917-1894, consumer hotline, 813-917-1894. Consumer QB hotline. And Mark, always a pleasure, man.
Thank you very much. You have a great day.
You too. All right, coming back, we got attorney Jason Coble in the house. We're going to talk with Coble Law on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Later in the program, our feel-good story of the day, great-grandfather dubbed Super Mario joined a gym in retirement and still pumps iron at 94 years old. We'll be right back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.